Introduction.
Yeah, Economics AS, Chapter 21. Introduction to the economy, to the measurements or the measures of economic performance. When we talk about economic performance, we're talking about how well the economy is doing. So it means we're going in depth between the micro and the macroeconomics. So the economy within, how things are within the economy and compared to the whole economy itself, like the individual markets and the market as a whole. So I'm going to read further. Microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics is the study of individual markets within an economy. For instance, macroeconomics is concerned with individual market for goods or market for labor. So when you talk about microeconomy, it's just about the individual market, maybe the market for banking, the market for insurance, the market for transportation. That's an individual market within the economy. So the study of individual markets within the economy is micro. I think it's clear. Then we have macro. For macroeconomics, it's concerned with the study of the economy as a whole. So that means we're talking about the whole economy. That is what macro is about. So here this is in contrast, macroeconomics is concerned with the study of the economy as a whole. For instance, macroeconomics considers the total value produced of goods and services in an economy. So that means the total output within the economy. The price level of the whole economy is studied. Total levels of employment and unemployment are examined. So here, it's the total of employment, total of unemployment. Whatever we need to study, we study it as a whole. That is what macroeconomics is talking about. So housing becomes a macroeconomic issue when, for instance, rises in house prices significantly affect the average level of all prices in the economy. So housing, there's a market for housing, which is microeconomic. But when it comes to housing issues affecting the economy as a whole, then it becomes macroeconomic. That's what they're saying here, that if prices start affecting the economy as a whole, then we won't see it as micro, we'll see it as macro. I think it's clear.
Yes.
So that's the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. So that takes us to national economic performance. One of the reasons why macroeconomics is useful is because it tells us something about the performance of the economy, of an economy. In particular, it allows economists to compare the economy today with the past. Is the economy doing better or worse than it was, say, 10 years ago? So it also allows economists to compare different economies. Is the Japanese economy doing better than the US economy, or how does the UK compare with the average in Europe? So the performance of an economy does not only measure the performance or how well the economy is doing. It can also be compared with other economies. So you need to measure the economic performance to be able to know if you are doing well than previous years. That's the first point. And the second one here is that you can use it to compare the economy of Libya with the economy of America, or the economy of Libya with the economy of Nigeria. So these are reasons why we need economic performance. I think it's clear. Yes. Then an economy. What is an economy itself? An economy is a system that is trying to solve the basic economic problem. So we move further. An economy is a system that attempts to resolve the basic economic problems of scarce resources in a world of infinite ones. An economic system is a mechanism for deciding what is to be produced, how production is to take place, and who is to receive the benefits of that production. So with economic question, there goes allocation of resources, which is done through the economic system. So is it a planned economic system, or free market economic system, or a mixed economic system? So that's why they said an economy is a system that attempts to solve the basic economic problem. Why the economic system itself is who decides what within the economy. So if it is planned economy, it means if it is a planned economic system, it means resources allocation is done by government. If it's a free market, it means resources allocation is done through individuals or firms. But mostly we don't have a pure free market. It's a mixture. It's a combination of, and we have the mixed economy, which involves both the private sector and the public sector. I think you're getting it, please.
Yes.
So when judging the performance of an economy, one of the criteria is to consider how much is being produced. The more that is produced, the better is usually considered the economic performance. Another criterion is whether resources are being fully used, that's fully utilization and fully employed. The economy cannot be producing at its potential level of output. If there are high levels of unemployment, for instance, the economy cannot be producing at its potential level of output. So if resources are unemployed, if there are high levels of unemployed resources, it means the economy is inside the PPF or the PPC. the production possibility frontier. It's inside. So that means the economy, it's not reaching its potential. And if it's not reaching its potential, then there's no way we want to talk about increasing output. So resources have to be fully utilized for an economy to reach its potential. You get the point here?
Okay.
So unemployment also brings, that's the first thing about unemployment. It reduces output. Unemployment also brings poverty to those out of work, and therefore it affects the living standards of individuals. Another problem about unemployment or effect of unemployment is that it increases poverty. So those who are out of job, their level of income would fall. And if their level of income is falling, it means they cannot maintain a living standard. So their living standard is expected to fall either. So poverty would reduce output. Poverty would also reduce the living standard. Do you get the point there? Mm-hmm. So the rate at which prices rise is important too. High rates of price rises disrupt the performance of an economy. So price also needs to be stable. If prices are not stable, it affects the economy because it makes people not to be able to determine or decide what happens in the future. So there's always going to be a panic buy. Do you understand? So price stability is also important for an economy to check the performance of an economy. So the national economy must also avoid spending more than it can afford. So your expenses, the national expenditure must not exceed the national income. So you must not, because if national expenditure exceeds the national income, then you're going to have a deficit budget. So you must not spend more than what you can afford. You must not spend more than what you get. That's the point I'm making there. Do you get that? Mm-hmm. So over a long period of time, the value of what it buys from other economies must roughly equal what it sells. So that means exports must equals to imports, or exports must be greater than imports, not vice versa. Do you get the point? Mm-hmm. So in this, it is no different from a household that cannot overspend and build up debts in the long term. So the point is, we must never spend more than what we have. So for an economy to continue to have a positive balance of payments, it must have more export than import, or import equals to export. Is it clear? Mm-hmm. So from here we go to economic problem.